We are all anxious to get back to the libraries, but it's not going to happen just yet. And when it does happen, it will be kind of a slow return to maybe a new normal. Bridget Blanton with us once again. Hello, great to see you.
Great to see you too.
We sure do wish we could be in the library. You have done such a great job, and your staff bringing the libraries to us. Can you talk about how that is continuing and growing this summer?
Right. So we've been doing virtual programming, on Facebook, and we actually are storing some of those as well on our YouTube channel. So that's great. We worked with Parks and Recreation, the museum, which is part of the library department, and then the Department of Creative Arts with Greensboro with Ryan Deal. And we came up with the summer slogan, which is GSO, Greensboro Summer Online. We always do a vast amount of programming during the summer. Summer reading, it's important to libraries across the country, and we didn't want that to stop. So we're just enhancing the number of programs that we're doing. We're actually, the performers that we had originally scheduled, some of them to be in person in our locations, we're actually going to be able to air them via Facebook and that kind of thing, to still have that as a resource. We're going to continue to do story times. Like I know one of the things for craft programs, DIY programs, and that's not just things that we're doing for our school age kids, but we're also doing it for adults. I like one of the programs for adults is like Craft-tastic, Wednesdays, and they're doing Food Fridays. So the programming is continuing, and it's just pretty much enhancing so that the public realizes we're here for them. It's important for us, for the young kids, the school age, the 5 to specifically 12, 13-year-old, for us to make sure we're providing that service, because there's some national trends that say that if kids are involved in libraries and reading during the summer, it helps to prevent the summer slide. So we want to make sure that we can do that. So Rosemary, even though we may not initially be open in this first part of phase 2, our plan is to start taking materials back in for the public, probably on or about the first part of June. We will do that for a short period of time, about 7 to 10 days, because we have to quarantine those materials. But then we'll start doing this great thing. I know people are concerned, oh my gosh, how am I going to get the books in my hand? We're going to start curbside service, which means customers can call us, place books on holds that they want us to have. And even if they don't have a specific title, if they say, can you all pull some books for my kids on this particular topic, or this is what they're interested in, we can put a bundle together up to 10 items and then set those aside for you. When you come to the library, you would actually call us, let us know. We would get your library card number, check those books out for you, and probably most cases walk out to your car and ask you to pop your trunk and put those books in your trunk. It's curbside service. So books will be able to go back into the hands of customers before probably about the middle of June.
Bridget, I love that. And I especially love that you say that you can help us choose books for our children just by subject area, or even
Right.
adults, and say, I kind of like this kind of book. Can you help me out? I mean, that is customer service at a whole new level for libraries.
Yeah. It's called Reader's Advisory, and we do it with folks all the time when they're in the building, but I don't think folks think about it. Again, COVID-19 is kind of causing us to accelerate some of the things that we just did, kind of like here. It's now become probably one of the most important faces of what we do. We've been doing it online. If you look at Facebook, you'll see that there are these things called book bundles. That's exactly what that is. It's a bundle of digital books that we're referring you to, that if you're interested in this author or in this topic, here are 5 or 6 books that might be of interest to you. Hopefully by mid-June, we'll be able to do that and put them in the trunk of your car.
I love it. What kind of feedback have you gotten from the digital programming that you're doing?
It's been interesting. It's been great, because I think the story that has probably touched my heart the most was one of our youth services folks had been sharing our programming with a friend, right? And so the friend was like, oh, I'll watch everything you guys are doing. And then the friend went on to say, I've actually also shared it with my friend in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And so when I heard that, I'm like, our impact. So it's not just our impact in Greensboro, but it's our impact now even in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we don't know where else that may be happening. But what it does is it spotlights the services we do in Greensboro. So I was sharing with someone else, it lets everybody know that Greensboro is the greatest place to be, right? Because of what we're doing. So good, that's right, good compliment. I think one of the other things I've come to realize during this process is it makes it available to people when they have time to do it. versus if we're doing a program inside the building, you may not be able to make it because you're working, so you can't make story time, or you can't make the 2:00 festival that's happening for kids in the summer. But if we're filming it and we're putting it on Facebook and doing Facebook Live or putting it on YouTube, you and your child, or you and your family, or you as an adult, if it's an adult program, can experience it at your convenience. And I think that's a great opportunity. That's something we probably, once we're fully open, we won't be able to do as much of that, but we will continue to do that as part of our regimen to be able to meet the needs of customers who can't get into our building when we're doing these kinds of things.
I love to hear that. And I love to hear you talk that we will open, we will go back to the library, we will see you and touch the books and sit there and read and interact with the wonderful library staff that we have in Greensboro.
Well, thank you. And I want people to know, too, that when we do open our doors, that we will have things in place to help with social distancing, to protect. So that, the safety of customers and staff is right now, all of us, the most important thing. And so that's the other reason behind doing a slow opening. We want to make sure that we can ensure, to the best of our ability, that we create the easiest way for people to remain safe, putting the pieces down on the floor that says, okay, stand here, making sure traffic is going in one way and coming out another way. We are being very thorough in our approach because we take our responsibility very seriously, that yes, we want to provide you with books and materials, but we also want to do that in a safe manner. The Greensboro Public Library will continue and always be, as our tagline says, a conduit to destiny. We're just doing it in a different way right now.
And Bridget, how's the best way to keep up with kind of these new opening times and guidelines and that kind of thing with the libraries?
There's a couple of ways. For sure, Facebook, because we're going to put it there for those of you that are Facebook followers. Instagram, because we have an Instagram page. And then, of course, the library's website, which is www.greensborolibrary.org. It'll be there. And we also plan on sending out a press release, so we're going to try to get it out there as much as possible. We are actually working on that now. As staff they've been working from home, creating all this wonderful stuff for you all and getting trained in new programs and services. I think the other great thing, Rosemary, that's coming out of this, we'll be able to do more tutorials for customers on how to use certain apps and software, because we've had to learn how to use them in order to provide ongoing service during this pandemic. So we gained resources that are going to benefit the community. We're excited. So we're going to definitely make sure that folks know when we're back in the building.
All right, we can't wait. Bridget, thank you so much. Thanks for all that you've been doing. I have to admit that I have not only used some of the things, the videos with my children, but for myself, I've enjoyed.
That's great.
Videos, gathering some of the supplies. Guilty, but it really is helping a whole lot, and we appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.